Assalamualaikum class, hope you're all fine and safe. In today's lecture, we are going to cover one of our major topic, that is the Henry and Mumford learner types. If you remember, the title of the course, that is the employability and learning skills. In the previous lectures, before the mid, we talked about the different factors that actually help us to improve our performance. And in the previous lecture, we talk about the VAC, that is the visual, auditory and the kinesthetic learning. But whenever we talked about whenever we talked about the learning, we can't explain ourselves, or we can't say that where there are the distinct characteristics of learner. In today's lecture, we are going to explore more about the learning skills, or you can say the learner types. Uh, and In this lecture, we will cover the Honey and Mumford learner types. So after this lecture, you will be able to explain what are the learner, Honey and Mumford's learner types, and what are the four basic types of the learning, that preferable learning types proposed by the Peter Honey and the Alan Mumford, and you will be able to explain the relationship of these learning styles with the Jacob experiential learning style. In the previous lecture, we talked about the art of reflection, and we were talking about the models of reflection, and we discussed reflective model. One was the Cope's experiential learning, that consists of the four major types. First one was the concrete experience, in which includes that you actually explain, or you can say that you actually try something new. Then comes to the reflective observation, in which you actually stand back and observe what happened, and what you can learn from that particular situation. Then comes to the abstract conceptualization, where you actually try to link your experiences, you try to making sense of your experience, and you link your experience with the facts and the figures available in the literature, or you can say available in your textbook. Then we talked about the last step of the cycle, that was the active experimentation, in which you are actually involved in experimenting the new strategy that you has devised in the abstract conceptualization. Then we talked about the Gibbs learning cycle, in which there were the four major steps. First one was the description, that you just explain, or you just describe the situation, that what happened, what were the people, who are the people involved, what was your role in that particular situation. You just explain or describe the situation. Then comes the feeling. In the feeling step, you actually explain your feeling related to the event, your feeling before and after the event, and then how did you feel about that particular situation. Then the third step was the evaluation. Here you actually focus on the what sort of things went well, what sort of things didn't go well. So we evaluate the positive aspect of the situation and the negative aspect of the situation. Then we talked about the analysis. In this case, you actually explain why. In description, feeling, analysis, you were talking about what, we were focusing on the what. But in the analysis phase, we talked about the why of the experience, that why it happened, why some things went well, why some things didn't go well, etc. Then comes to the conclusion, that you actually summarize your action planning, the last stage, that is the action planning, where you actually implement, where you devise a new strategy, and you want to check that your previous strategy will function in a similar situations or not, that you need to modify your current strategy. So now, in today's lecture, we are going to explore more about the Cobb cycle, and what is the relationship of the learner's type with the Cobb cycle. So, whenever we start to learn something new, our first concern is naturally with what we are learning. But have you even considered how you should learn? How will you can say, approach your new subject? Do you know how effective that approach will be? And have you considered other matter? If you talked about the Gibbs cycle, and if you talked about the Cobb cycle, in both the cycles, the last stage, that the active experimentation of the Cobb cycle and the action plan of the Gibbs cycles, talked about that how you can make your approach more effective, and what are the methods you need to consider to make your performance more effective. So If if the what is important, the how is also important, that how you approach, that how you learn. So whenever you talked about the different learning activities, the how of your learning capability is very very important. So for this purpose, Peter Honey and the Anna Mumford identified the four distinct styles or the preference that the people use while they learn. They suggest that most of us tends to follow only one or two these styles, and that different learning activities may be better suited to the particular style. So knowing your predetermined learning styles will help you judge how likely an activity is to be helpful to you. So, if we talked about talking about the Honey and Mumford learning styles, remember that in these styles actually explain two major things. Number one, or you can say the implication of this model is complete model is that you should understand your learning style and then seek the opportunities to learn from using these styles. So, coming toward the major characteristic or the major four learning styles, the first one is the activist. Activists are those people who learn by doing. These are the people that actually learn by doing activities. They want to do learn, or you can say these are actually the learner, or you can say that these are actually the people who love kinesthetic learning. If remember, if you recall the Cobb cycle, in the first one was the concrete experimentation, the where we were talking about the concrete experimentation, sorry, concrete experiences. This is where the activistic comes. So activistics are the people who learn by doing. They like to involve themselves in the new experiences, or they try things. They try new things. They tend to act first and consider the consequences afterward. Obviously, these are the, you can say that these are the sort of the leaders, and so being a leader, they actually involve in the activities that are more related to the things. For example, let's take the example. You are given with the 3 to 4 stacks of the wood. Now without any single thought, you just start building with these you start building some, maybe might a house or the table with these learning words. So in the activistic approach, these are the people who are actually involved in doing certain sort of the things they prefer, or you can say that they have a very open minded, they are very open minded, they have the very open-minded approach to the learning. So they are not skeptical. They tends to make, you can say, more they are enthusiastic about the new things. They're, you can say, if they're talking about their philosophy, their philosophy is that I will try anything once. So they act, they tend to act first, they consider the consequences afterwards. Their days are full of energy, full of activities. They tackle problem by their problem solving. As soon as they are excitement from the you can say one activity has died down, they are busy looking for the next. So they tends to strive on the challenges of the new experiences, and they are usually bored with the implementation and the consolidation. So they are very active person, they are who are involved in the activities rather than thinking about the situation. They just go for the doing, let's do it. Their philosophy is let's doing things. So these kind of the people who are very activistic in their approach, they can learn using the different activities. These activities include brainstorming. Obviously they are the learner, they are the activities. They'll want to learn, or they learn things by brainstorming. They the reading, or you can say that they actually involve in the problem solving. So the people, for example, if you want them to sit in the lectures, reading materials and the writing materials, they will not be comfortable. They were more comfortable in doing things. So they are not interested in reading, or you can say listening to the different lectures, reading, writing sort of, and the long explanation. They just focus on the doing part of the activities. They love role playing. Through role playing, they actually experience the situation, they actually have the concrete experiences. They are very competitive in nature. So the competition are really helpful in learning activities. Obvious, and talk about the puzzles. Obviously these are the people who love to solve puzzles. Why? Because they are activistic, they are actively involved in any sort of the activities. Then comes the reflectors. If talking about the reflectors, the what actually explains these are the reflectors. They learn by observing and thinking about what happened. They like to consider all the possible angles and the implications before coming to the considered opinion. So they spend time listening and observing, they tends to be very cautious and the thoughtful. So these are the you can say the reflectors, the actually what share reflectors. In the previous lectures we talked about the art of reflection, and the one of the major step was the standing back. So same as the case with this reflector approach, that the people who are reflector, they tends to stand back and think about the situation before doing anything. They may you can say they prefer to watch from the sidelines. They will observe, observe the situation directly or indirectly. Then they will have the different number of the perspective. They collect information, and they will take time to work on the things. The reflectors are all about taking situation. If talking about their philosophy, they are more likely to say that, let me just think about for this for a moment, let me or you can say don't let rush into anything. So when we're talking about the reflectors, they are more toward you can say they are more toward the reflection, they are more toward the thinking the situation. They will first collect the information, maybe from direct observation or the indirect observation. Then they will prefer to think about it thoroughly, and then they will come toward coming to the conclusion. So this thorough calculation and analysis of data about the experiences is what actually counts. So they tends to postpone the definitive conclusion as long as there is a possibility. So their philosophy is to be very cautious. They are thoughtful person, you can say that they are the thoughtful people who like to consider all the possible angles and implications. They listen to other, they get the drift of the discussion before making their own points. They usually tends to you can say have a low profile. They are very tolerant person also. They think about the major you can say they are actually prefer to have the quick or the vast view of the situation or vast image of the picture. Then they will reflect back on the certain situations. Talking about the electivities, or you can say the reflector learns best when they are able to stand back and they observe first. They have a time to think about the situation, to investigate about the situation. They have time to investigate before doing actions. They are given opportunity to review what has happened, and they are doing a task without deadlines. Usually when we talk about the reflectors, they do not prefer to have deadlines. Why? Because they need time to think about the situation, to collect information about from the multiple perspective, and then draw conclusion on that particular information. So these are the people, you can say the reflectors don't able to learn in the situation where there are the rushed where there is a when they where there are the lots of deadlines. There are when they don't have time for preparations. They force to take lead into the groups. So what are the learning activities that they have, they can the learning activities they need to learn something are the peer discussion, obviously one-to-one discussion, that so that they have the a different point of view related to the different situations. Self-analysis questionnaire. Why? Because they learn by observing things. So if they have the self-analysis questionnaire, they will be pretty much interested in these kind of the things, and they will be more experience, or they have the more information related to that particular situation. Observing activities, feedback from others, coaching interviews, these are the learning activities that actually help them to learn something new. Then comes the theorist. Obviously, the word represents theorist. Theorists like to understand the theory behind the actions. They need models, concepts, facts in order to engage in the learning process. So you can say that they actually like to analyze and synthesize, drawing new information into the systematic and the logical theory. They want to create link. These are the people, the theorists are the persons, or you can say that these are the people who actually have the philosophy to think about and have the philosophy to integrate and adapt the different observation, and then they will act. Okay, now what is the major difference between the reflectors and the theorist? When we talk about the reflectors, they usually stand back and observe, But if we talk about the theories, these are actually they have the actually the background information. They use secondary information more as compared to the reflectors. Reflector usually prefer to have the first hand information or the primary information, but in case of the theory, they are actually more focused in the logical arguments. They are more focused on the reasoning. So usually so the theorists are you can see you can say that these are actually tends to be more perfectionist who want rest easy until things are tidy or fit into the rationality. The reflectors don't the reflectors actually doesn't want to be logical. They need you can say the reflectors need more information, but theories need more models and the concepts. They are actually make sense of the situation. The reflectors just collect information and draw the conclusions. You can say the theories are more about the synthetic. If you link with the previous lecture, if you link the theories with the previous lecture, then you can say the theories are actually very synthetic reflectors that are more prone to synthesize, that are more prone to make sense of the particular situation. So if talking about the theorists, they are the people who integrate observation into the complex models. They have different concepts in order to engage in the learning process. So they actually learn with the different sort of the question, that does it make sense, how does it this fit with that, what are the basic assumptions. They tends to be very analytical and very they are very dedicated rational person. They are very dedicated to the rationality, objectivity. Anything that are subjective in nature, or anything that is subjective in nature or that is very ambiguous, they don't prefer such kind of things. So their approach to the problem solving is consistently logical, and they prefer to maximize the certainty, and they feel uncomfortable with the subjective judgmentals or the anything that is not supported by the certain arguments. So they actually use evidences. uh The major difference is again, the major difference between the theorists and the reflector, that reflectors do not use any sort of you can say judgments or the logical reasoning, but theorists need that logical reasoning. They want to synthesize, they prefer to synthesize the information so that they have the logical theory behind each and every action. So when the theorists can learn best, obviously these they are the certain activities which help them to learn best. The first one is the models, statistics, stories, quotes, background information, and applying theories. Obviously, theories learn best when an activity is backed up by, you can say, the different models, ideas, concept, any system or the theory behind is more structured in a sense, which have the clear vision, clear purpose, clear statement, problem statement. They have the chance to question and probe. They have required the understanding of the complex situations. So when talking about the theories, they need models. I'm repeating, talking about the theories, they need models, they need concepts, they need facts and figures so that they can have a clear picture in their mind, which help them to rationalize the situation, to logically to have the sound reasoning behind each and every actions. So the situations that are very emotional in a sense, that are very sentiment emotional, and the feelings, the theories will not perform well in the emotional situations or in the feeling situations. Or you can say when the activities are not structured, or you can say when the activities are very ambiguous. So when asked to act without knowing the principle and the concept involved, they will not be able to work in a situation where there is no logical reasoning behind that particular action. Then comes the pragmatistics. You, if talking about the pragmatistics, these are the peoples that are very keen in on trying out the new things. They look for the new ideas that can be applied to the problem in hand, and you can say they like to get on things, and tends to be you can say and they tends to be impatient with the open-ended discussion. They are very practical, or you can say they are very down to earth sort of people. So when we talk about the pragmatism, you can say these are the people who learn by practice. These are the obviously word shows pragmatism, that these are the people who learn who actually learn by the practice. They actually practice in the real world situation, and then they prefer to work. So they actually you can say that they actually put learning into the action. They think about the that how they can apply the situation, or they can apply their learning into the real situation. So abstract concepts, different games are of the limited use unless they can see a way to put the ideas into the action in this line. So the tagline, if talking about the tagline of their actions, there is always the tagline: how will it work in practice? If it work, it's good. There is always a better way to do a thing. Clear? So, talking about the pragmatists, these are the people who are work on the different ideas, different techniques. They positively search out the new ideas and take the first opportunity to experiment with the applications. They are the sort of the people who return from the courses brimming with the new ideas. They want to try out in the practice. They like to get on with the things and act quickly, and the confidently on the ideas that attract them. This tends to be impatient with the open discussions. They are the very practical person. So these the reflectors learn best when when they have time to think about the situation, when they have different case studies, prop solving activities, and the discussions. Clear? I'm repeating that the pragmatists are the people who are actually are more keen to trying out the things. They learn best when there is an obvious connection between the topic and the current need. They are shown techniques with the clear practical advantages. Obviously, they want the results. The best you can say the pragmatists actually want results, so they implement their in knowledge until or unless they have evidences that this will work. When they have the clear understanding, when they have the clear certainty that the things will go well, then they will work, then they will act. So they can try out the things with they are try out the things with the different feedbacks from the experts, so that they can have the true information, and that information should be implemented properly into the real world. They can they can implement an example, or they can copy an example. So pragmatistic learn best when they can have when they have the evidences that will work very well, or in the situation in which they least learn, when there is no immediate practical benefit, or you can say there are the no clear guideline on how to do it, or you can say it appears to be all theory. Clear? Now talking about, or you can say the linking this linking this honey and Mumford learning styles. Let me repeat that what are the honey and Mumford learner types. There are the four major learning types. First one is linguistics. These are the people who actually learn by doing. They want to do things without a single thought. They don't want to spend time on thinking. They don't want to spend time on reflection. They don't want to spend time on linking the information with the with any particular theory or model. They just do it without considering the consequences. Then comes the reflectors. These are the people who actually reflect back on the situation. They collect information from all the perspective, and then they act according to that particular situation. So they first collect the information. They're actually based their actions are based on the research. First they will collect the information, then they will interpret that particular information, and from interpretation they will draw conclusions, and after coming to the conclusions they will act. Then comes the theorist. Theorists actually prefer to link the situation. They prefer to link the information with the link the information with the certain concepts, certain models, certain system. So they have the sound logical background of each and every action. Then comes the pragmatist. The pragmatists are the people who actually want. uh, are more concerned, are more focused on the practical implications of the theories. What is the difference between, if talking about the difference between theorist and the pragmatistic? Theorists just want models, just want model and the logical reasoning, but pragmatistic need evidences, the tangible evidences that how does this thing or this new strategy can work into the real world. Clear? So we were talking about these words, and now how can we actually link? These learning styles with the COPS experiential learning model? If you remember the COPS experiential learning model, there were the four major steps. One first was the concrete experience. Then there was the reflect observation. Then there were the abstract conceptualization, and then there comes the active experimentation. If you try to connect these three things, first come first will comes the activistics. You can relate it with the concrete experimentation. Here comes the concrete experiences. If you remember in the previous lecture, that activistics are, you can say the activistic are the people who actually learn by doing, and in the concrete experience we were trying out how the things go. Then comes to the abstract, comes up the abstract, or sorry, comes the reflective observation. Here comes the reflector. In talking about the abstract, sorry, talking about the reflective observation, we want you to reflect back on the situation. Same is the case with the reflectors. The reflectors actually work best in the abstract, sorry, reflective observation, where they stand back, where they step back and reflect on the different aspect of the situation. Then comes the abstract conceptualization. The theorists work well with the, you can say, abstract conceptualization. Why? In abstract conceptualization, we talked about the linking the information with the previous models. Here comes the lectures. Here comes the fact and model. The text you actually confirm, the text you actually study in the classroom, so that you can link the theorist with the abstract conceptualization. Then comes the pragmatist, and this is this you can link with the active experimentation. Obviously, when we're talking about the active experimentation, we discussed that active experimentation, we try to have a new strategy, that how our new plan or new strategy will work. The same is the case with the pragmatist. These are the people who try to find out the practical implication of the different information. Clear? So so you can link these four type, or you can say these four learning types with your with the COPS experiential learning. Experiential learning is actually why we called it experiential learning, or why it is linked with the experiential learning, that you learn. Obviously, when we think about the situation, when we focused on the what of the learning, how is very very important, and how being a person, what is your preferred learning style. So these four type of learning styles, including activistic, theorist, reflectors, and the pragmatistics, help you to identify your learning style, that how would you learn, and how would you actually approach to the different learning styles. So you need to keep moving. Sometimes it is said that you need to have more than one learning style, so that you can have the different opportunities to learn different things. Sometimes you have being a student, if take your example taking your example, that you are the student. So being a student, sometimes you are provided with the lectures, sometimes you are provided with the different problem solving activities, sometimes you are provided with the different numerical problems, sometimes you are provided with the case studies, sometimes you are need to, or you are required to participate in the different discussions. So these all sort of the activities help you to learn. So it is better to have more than one learning style, so you can actually maximize, or you have, so that you have an opportunity to learn from all these activities. If you are the activistic, you will prefer to learn by problem solving. If you are theorist, you will prefer to have text, you will prefer to have the lectures, you prefer to have the reading of the learning material. If you are a reflector, you learn by you can learn in the situation when there is a no pressure, no tight deadlines. You have the time to think about the situation, you have time to think about or you have time to collect information. Or in case of the pragmatistic, different case studies, different problem solving will help you understand the situation. So being a student, it is very preferable that you have many learning styles, so that you can learn from each and every activity provided to you. So I'm going to wrap up today's lecture. That in today's lecture we were talking about the learning styles provided given by the Henry, or you can say Peter Honey and the Alan Mumford. So sometimes or talking about the takeaways of this today's lecture, that many people show preferences for the particular learning styles, and the different learning activities are suited for the different learning styles. You are the most likely to learn when your learning style and the nature of activity matches. So if you choose among the different activities to learn the same subject, you may be able to choose an activity that must match your preferred style, but often you are not given the luxury of a choice. For example, in case of like these lectures, if you are reflector, activistic theories and pragmatists, you are supposed to watch these lectures and do the certain sort of the assignments. So you will need to use the styles that are the combination of all these four type of the styles. So if you are prepared to use different styles on the different occasion, you can strengthen your style, you can strengthen your opportunities to learn your situation. You will be can be an all-rounder learner, and you're able to benefit from any sort of the you can say any sort of the learning opportunities. After this recording, I will post a questionnaire related to this type of learning, that how you actually that to reflect back on that how you can learn, what is your learning style, so that you can approach to the learning information using these learning style. Claire, I hope you understood what we have studied in today's lecture. If you have any question or query, you may ask in an interactive section in a coming Saturday, as we have the scheduled class on the Saturday. Thank you so much, class, for listening this lecture. Take care, and please stay at home. Take all the precautionary measures from the COVID-19, as as you all know that the virus or this pandemic is spreading. The second wave of the pandemic is worse than the previous wave. So please stay at home, stay safe, use all the precautionary measures, avoid going outside, and avoid having the different hangouts outside the home. Prefer to stay at home. Take care. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.